I got a bone to pick with hustle culture as I drink coffee at 7 o'clock at night, okay? Here's my bone. Here's my bone to pick. Hustle culture tells you that if you just work and you work and you work and you work, eventually you will hit jackpot, right? If you were mining for gold, all you gotta do is keep digging, keep digging, keep digging, keep digging. Eventually you'll find gold. Or, and this is my bone to pick, maybe you're just in the wrong mine, okay? Hustle culture and the idea of pushing and pushing and pushing tells you that there are no limits on time. You can do it. You can keep pushing, okay? And I totally get that. Believe me, I have spent the time calculating the 168 hours in a week. How can you sleep less and do more? How can you put all of your energy into all of these things all at once? But if you're a parent, if you have a job, if you're trying to start a business, you're trying to take care of yourself, exercise right, you got to cook, you got to clean, you got to be there for your relationship and your spouse. You're trying to start a business to maybe solve a lot of these problems, right? Like if you had all the money in the world, you wouldn't have to meal prep. If you had all the money in the world, you wouldn't have to budget, which takes up time. If you had all the money in the world, maybe you wouldn't have to work that job and you can work the job that you want to work. Yeah, all of that would be cool. And that's the hustle culture. That's what they tell you. They say, hey, just keep grinding, keep pushing, and then you'll make it. And then you'll be able to do all the things you want to do. So hustle culture just ignores the fact that time is a limiting factor. Right? I only have 168 hours a week. Only. That's it. Everybody gets 168 hours a week. And I love this quote. Alex Hormozy pointed it out to somebody. They said, hey, I feel like I don't have enough time. And Alex Hormozy said, do you have kids? And he said, no. And he said, okay, you have all the time in the world right now. You genuinely do, is what he was telling him. And so the guy realized, okay, I just have to do a better use of my time. And I get that. There are people who are just very, very bad with the use of their time. But to believe that you have more than 168 hours, and that's that to be productive, you have to sleep a certain amount. Maybe it's not 8 hours, maybe it's not 7 hours, maybe it's not 6 hours. You have to sleep at some point. Right? You don't get 168 hours of purely uninterrupted ecstasy of business and driving your entrepreneurial spirit forward, right? So you're locked in to this time frame and you have to do with what you have. Now, my main problem is there are so many things that I want to do, a ridiculous laundry list of things that I want to do. And with the advent of AI, it's just gotten longer because now I can very quickly go from idea to concept to flushing it out and being like, yeah, I could totally do that. The multi-dreamers that are watching this right now, the people who have all of these different things that they want to do, you can't lock in on this one specific thing for too long because then you miss all of the other things. As Bruce Lee said, it's like a finger pointing to the moon. If you concentrate on the finger, you will miss all of its heavenly glory, talking about the moon. And so when you have all of these dreams and these aspirations, you want to do all of these things, you want to move with speed, you want to move with urgency, you want to keep going. But all of these other things in your life are kind of pulling back, saying, no, you gotta segment. You gotta be here, there, this, that, and so you don't get to do all of these things. Now, the beautiful part about what I figured out when it came to business is that your business does not have to be a pain point in your life. It can actually be a creative outlet. It can be a place for you to have those experiments, those ideas, and put them out into the world and see if they have any meat, if they have any potatoes, if they're hardy enough to continue pursuing as a business. And oftentimes, when you're like me, when you're like us, you don't have one grand perfect idea and you're like, that's going to be my business, that's where I'm going to go. You have a whole bunch of them. And so you need to experiment. You need to put it out into the world, see if it works, and then iterate and keep going. So if you have an idea to start a book launching business where you launch a whole bunch of books every year, you got to start writing books and launching them. And if nobody buys those books, you have a couple of options. Number one, you can keep going just because you find enjoyment in it. And there's no money in that, and that's totally fine. If you're not in it for money, you just want to write books, yeah, write books. The second option is you can try to get better at marketing and selling the books, regardless of how the books are, right? If the books are really, really good, they'll probably market and sell themselves, just not as fast. But if you can market and sell them, then you can sell more books and you can do that full time. Or third, you can give up. And a lot of entrepreneurs give up because they get to that point where they've tried and they feel like they should be successful. They did the hustle thing. I've done the hustle thing. I spent the time calculating the 168 hours. I've done 48 hours no sleep trying to build something. I wrote a book in a weekend, a full book, right? Like I've hustled through those moments trying to make something happen. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm giving you permission now that if you have an idea, it doesn't need to work right away. And you don't have to hustle to make it work. If you try it, if it goes out there and it doesn't work, that's okay. You can just try again, or you can try something new. And finally, if hustle culture was true, then people wouldn't spend billions of dollars, literally billions, building automations, AI agents, all of that stuff to make their business run without them. Right? Like the hustle culture is this push at like the first 5 to 10% of a business. And then once it clicks, once the business hits gold, oh, how do we automate this as much as possible? How do we outsource as much as possible? How do I buy back my time as much as possible? Because they did the hustle and they realized it sucked. Right? They're like, this sucks. Spending 16 hours every day cold calling people on the phone sucks. So let me build an AI agent that can call everybody 24/7 the second they fill out a form. That's an automation. That's a system in place so that they don't have to make the phone calls. But for some reason, instead of starting there, they do the hustle. What if you had the systems in place? You had all these systems in place, and then you tested an idea against that system, and then you found out the system was perfect, or the idea was perfect, and the system's already running. No hustle culture there. That's what I'm about. I like that idea way more. So my bone to pick with hustle culture is that it's been sold to too many people for too long, telling them that they have to do something a certain way, and that is not true. You can do it however you want. Business is a creative outlet. Your entrepreneurial spirit is supposed to be pushing you in the direction of helping as many people as you want. It should not be hustle culture burning you into the ground, burning the candle at both ends, ruining your relationships and your life, and wasting all of your money. That is my rant for today. I'm going to have more coffee and get back at it. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.